Guys, we've had more crazy sneaker announcements for 2025. Sneakers Day is right around the corner, and according to these reports, it is going to be packed with grails. Or not. And we've got a whole bunch of exciting new sneaker announcements to talk about in this week's Sneaker Wrap. Hello everybody, it is me, Jordan Young, back with another Certified Hood Classic. Every Saturday I do these weekly sneaker news recap videos where we look back at the biggest sneaker news stories from the past week and talk about some exciting upcoming sneaker releases. If you guys want to keep up with me in real time, be sure to go over to IG and TikTok and give me a follow over there. Let's start things off by recapping this week's biggest sneaker releases, starting off with the Their Skateboards Nike SB Dunk Low collab. It seems like if you wanted to get your hands on these, it wasn't overly problematic unless you actually tried to cop them through Their themselves. These guys came under fire on IG for ostensibly removing all the bot entries when it seems like nobody was able to check out on this pair. Resale isn't crazy on these though, so if you did miss out and you really needed a pair, they're not going for that much over retail, to be honest. Also had the Adidas Fear of God collab. Yeah, these guys are still going at it. Not that it seems like most people care. We had a basketball shoe as well as an LA trainer, and both of these are still sitting on the confirmed app, at least here in the UK, in a full-size run. Also for you guys over there in the US, had the Air Jordan 6 Olympics. Also had a couple of New Balance collabs, the 1906 collab with Concepts, as well as the Joe Fresh Goods website raffle release of the 990 V6 in the blue and the red colorway. I think these are set to wheel out via retailers in the next couple of weeks. A couple of cheeky bangers in there. I didn't pick anything up myself. Did you guys come up on anything? Feel free to let me know. Right, let's get into the news. I want to start off with the story here because this is huge. If it's true, the Nike Air Force One Low PlayStation collab is expected to return in 2025. Now, this is crazy because this is one of the holiest of holy grail Air Force One Lows. If you know, you know. These first came out in 2006. There were like 150 pairs made. They came out again in 09, I think, to the tune of like 50 pairs. And because all of the samples of these pairs were destroyed, there are literally only 200 pairs out there on the market. These fetch crazy money depending on the size. I actually saw a pair sell last year here in the UK on eBay for pretty close to £10,000. Now, although these are just rumors, there seems to be a little bit of credibility about the idea because we've seen in recent times announcements of other grails like the Wu-Tang Dunks or the Undefeated Fours, but it does have portions of the sneaker community divided because there are a lot of people that have obviously spent a lot of money on buying these. There are people that have cherished these as very rare parts of their collections, and to see these effectively come back in a retro in a mass-produced fashion is potentially going to diminish the value of their pairs. It does also cut against a cornerstone of sneaker culture, which is priding yourself on having stuff that other people don't have. Now, there are large swathes of the sneaker community that are really happy to hear this, but yeah, what do you guys think? Are you guys up for seeing this type of shoe come back? Or do you think these types of pairs should just stay in the vault? Feel free to sound off down below. The other big announcement, of course, alongside the Air Force One Low PlayStations, is the announcement that we could be getting the OG shattered backboard Air Jordan 1 High next year as well. This is another sneaker that I think a lot of people probably expected to see retro given the trajectory that Nike has been on releasing these old school grails. I know I, for one, saw this coming, which is why I sold my own pair of shattered backboards last year for, you know, still a pretty decent price. So this wasn't really a surprise to me. But yeah, this has got a lot of people really excited because it's a great colorway. It's a beautiful shoe, and one of the redeeming features of the 2015 release was the quality. So a lot of people are wondering whether or not they're going to be able to replicate the quality of the pair from 2015. But listen, this is an iconic colorway. It's got a great story behind it. I think this is one of the best Jordan 1 High colorways of all time, and I'm feeling completely validated in my decision to get rid of my pair last year when I did. Sneakers Day is right around the corner on the 8th of August, and according to these reports, it's going to be jam-packed with some holy grail sneakers. And this is predominantly, I think, for residents of the EU and the UK, not so much for you guys over there in the US. But these reports come from a video that was launched on the Nike Sneakers app, where if you pause it at a particular point, you can see in the background a whole lineup of pretty hyped up looking sneakers, including some Travis 1 Lows, the Pine Green SB4s, even the Cortez Air Max 95s. Now, I should say right off the bat that this is most likely cap. I could be wrong. Maybe this is the one Sneakers Day that actually comes off. But if you look back to last year, for example, before Sneakers Day, there were all these rumors doing the rounds that we were going to get all sorts of crazy restocks, including the SB4s, including Travis 1 Low Mochas. And what did we end up getting? We got Jordan 1 Low Sashikos. we got some footscapes, we got some random dunks. So as much as this day is being hyped up, if we go off what's happened in the past, it's ultimately going to be a letdown. I have seen some other accounts report on the fact that we could be getting a Jarritos restock, which would be cool and wouldn't be completely unsurprising, seeing as we have had little mini restocks of shoes like the Jarritos over the past couple of years. But here's what I think is actually going to happen. I don't think we're going to be getting all of these hyped up sneakers on the restock. It's the 8th of August, which is the same day as the Nigel Sylvester release, which I think is going to be the marquee drop on the Nike sneakers app. I think they're probably going to give some exclusive access and maybe some shock drop type treatment to some upcoming sneakers that aren't really that important, and they're just going to use the day as a means to drive interest for sneakers that would otherwise sit were it not Nike Sneakers Day. So I'm not saying it's going to be a complete washout. It probably will be, but don't get your hopes up is what I'm saying. Don't know if you guys have been watching the Olympics, but I've been watching this week. It has been pretty cool, and a couple of interesting sneaker moments have included Haisa Leal winning a bronze medal wearing her very own Nike SB Dunk Low collab, which I think is dope. And not to be outdone, Yuto Horigome took home the gold medal wearing his own Yuto Dunks as well. Both cool shoes, both in my own personal collection, and both fantastic skaters. Puma Hoops have officially teamed up with Salehe Bamberry. That's right. This week we heard that the two entities are going to be joining forces in what they hope is going to be a successful partnership regarding their basketball division. And I guess the whole idea from Puma is to try to bring in Salehe with his forward-thinking, sort of out-the-box design ideas to give a fresh perspective on Puma Hoops. Now, I would argue that Puma basketball shoes have definitely enjoyed a little bit of revivification in recent times, mainly thanks to LaMelo Ball. And given Salehe's influence, particularly in the lifestyle sector, where he's had huge success with the likes of New Balance as well as Crocs, it looks like Puma are trying to create a type of basketball sneaker that's not only functional and good looking on the court, but maybe also off the court as well. You guys might have seen this story this week. Complex did a breakdown of the top sneaker collaborators in the culture right now, and one person that featured on the list was very unhappy at the ranking they were given, and that is none other than Marcus Jordan, who reacted to being number 25 on the list with this comment here. He said, "Complex wild with them crusty ass rankings, 25?" Then he calls out Brandon Dunn saying, "Lol, you a silly little turd." So bro is super pressed after being ranked pretty low. But I would maintain, as well as a lot of people in the comments, that he is lucky to be on the list at all. Marcus Jordan has to be one of the most, if not the most, hated people in sneaker culture by sneakerheads over his flagrant backdooring and over his, it has to be said, pretty average and pretty lame designs. Now, I am planning on making a video myself talking about my own perception of who is the best sneaker collaborator or who are the best sneaker collaborators out there. We're going to talk a little bit about that list in a future video. If you are excited to see that, be sure to comment down below so you can motivate me to make it. Right, before we talk about some exciting new sneakers as well as some updated images, I want to talk about this story here because this is kind of interesting. Apparently, Nike is planning to make Nike SBs customizable on the Nike by You website in 2025, which is pretty crazy because Nike SBs, generally speaking, are kind of sacred to Nike. That's why, for example, we don't see any retros of Nike SBs as successful and as popular as they would no doubt be. But apparently, yeah, you're going to be able to go on the website next year, and just like you can do currently with all sorts of models on there, you can play around with different colorways. I think this idea has been floated in the past, but next year looks like they are going to be launching it. So the question is this about to change the dynamic around the way Nike SBs are perceived and the way that they are sold and marketed by Nike? Could this potentially open up the gate for them to begin retroing really hyped up Nike SBs from the past? I mean, can you imagine if they decided to do a Paris SB retro or like a Freddy SB retro or any of the classics from back in the day? They would be making some bank. So I'm wondering if they're maybe taking away the sacredness here with the Nike ID option. Could they be open? I don't know. Feel free to let me know. Would you want to see that? Radio, let's get into some on-foot looks, some updated images, all of that good stuff. I want to start off with the Amamanier Air Jordan 4 Fossils. You guys have probably already seen some early reviews go out there. And I want to say, man, these on-foot images are looking good. I way prefer this pair to the first Amamanier pair. The quality is looking really good. The front mudguard panel, at least according to some of these images, particularly in the bright lights, look really hairy, man. Shape looks good, colorway really wearable. These are supposed to be coming out towards the back end of September on the 28th, and I'm feeling them. What about you guys? We've also had some really good on-foot looks of one of this month's hottest upcoming sneaker releases, the Amamanier Air Jordan 3. Quality on these is looking really good. Still haven't seen pairs of the rust or the clay or whatever colorway it is that's supposed to be coming out alongside it. I wonder if that's not maybe going to be the really rare sort of Amamanier website release only pair, and this is going to be the more widely available model. It seems like that would be the case according to the way the images have leaked out, but I am liking the look of these. Again, shape's looking good, quality's looking good. We've also had a really good detailed look at the driveway gray Air Jordan 4 RM Nigel Sylvester. Again, this is going to be, in my opinion, the sort of marquee Sneakers Day release, because they come out on the 8th, on Sneakers Day. So this is going to be like the shoe that everyone's going to want to get on Nike Sneakers Day, despite the restock rumors. And listen, man, these look awesome. The promotional material here featuring Nigel on his BMX on the driveway in question have these sneakers looking really good. I'm a huge fan of the green pair. If you guys haven't checked out my review on those, be sure to go back through my vids and check them out. And I just think they're fire, man. I think the quality on these looks really good. And the fact that I've got the green pair means I'm going to have to get the gray pair in it. So next year, we're supposed to be getting a couple of rare air Jordans, a Jordan 3 as well as a Jordan 4. And the color blocking kind of has a bit of top 3-esque vibes about it, but one of the controversial details that has been released this week is the fact that the Nike Air logo on the back of one of the shoes is going to be sort of reflected. And I don't know, man, it just feels like they're really at the bottom of the barrel of ideas. It's like, what can we come up with now that we haven't done in the past that's just novel for novel's sake? I'm not really a big fan of this detail. I think if you're a little bit OCD, this will just end up freaking you out. It doesn't really have much to do with anything. I don't know. I think it's a dead idea. In terms of the Jordan 4 Rare Air, these are set to drop in February of next year, and these are just mock-ups. And as you can see, according to the mock-ups, they're very similar to the 3s. The color code is black, fire red, deep royal, as well as dark smoke gray and tech gray. So I guess they've kind of done a pretty good job in rendering what they think this colorway is going to look like. But the main feature of this sneaker is the fact that it has the removable tongue tab that features the Rare Air underneath. If you guys remember like the Tour Yellows from 2006, or you remember maybe the Undefeateds from 2005, they also featured the removable tongue patch that had the Rare Air underneath. So this is one of those sneakers that will definitely make sense to you if you've been around in the game for a while and you know what the score is. But this colorway, I don't know, man. I'm not really feeling them that much according to these mock-ups. They look like they could be a pass. Nike sent out pairs of the upcoming Futura collab on the brand new sneaker, the Nike Jam, the breakdancing shoe. And the packaging looks pretty cool. I'm not sure if this is going to be the packaging that we all are going to get or if this is just for the Nike athletes. But yeah, they come in this boombox package, which is pretty cool. It sort of folds out to a bit of cardboard that you can breakdance on. And listen, on foot, these look cool. You can see them here in action with this chick doing her thing. And listen, they do look pretty simple, man. They look like every other mesh runner we've seen over the past couple of years, but they do look comfortable. And I think if these come in at a nice, attractive price point, right around $100, I would be up for a pair. Not that I'm going to be doing anything like this in it. I would certainly injure myself. But yeah, I think the Nike Jam is a good looking shoe. It's good to see something new from Nike. I think these could definitely be a hit, as long as they're not too expensive. Let's talk about some new basketball sneakers now. Bape and Adidas have collaborated on the Dame 9 in a second colorway, and yeah, I don't know, man, these aren't it to me. I think it's definitely saying something when the best part of the sneaker is the part of the sneaker that you're not going to wear, the box. I don't know, man. Dame's shoes don't really do it for me. Great player, Dame time, love that. But these shoes, bro, nah. I thought this post was pretty funny from Nice Kicks. They're talking about Jaylen Brown, who has been spotted playing in an undisclosed sneaker at the NBPA Sanctuary in Spain. That's right, he was spotted wearing these in a photo shoot. I don't really get that. These look kind of interesting, man. I mean, I'm not sure whether or not maybe he's trying out some kind of a prototype from an unnamed brand. These look like they could be Chinese. I'm not sure. All right, let's talk about some Travis Scott sneaker news. We've had some fresh looks at the upcoming Jumpman Jack Dark Mocha. These are coming out this October, so right around fall season, and they look like the ideal shoe for the fall season, particularly in these dark and mocha tones. I've got to say, this is probably the best looking Jumpman Jack colorway that I've seen so far. We've also had a detailed look at the Jumpman Jack Bright Cactus. There's no release date on these, but these are again really nice colorway. You can see him here, bun in a zoot, donning this pair here. And the fact that early pairs are out there with the likes of Yankee Kicks has me thinking these could be a released pair. This isn't just like a PE pair that have been made for Travis to go on tour with. I like these, man. I feel like this creamy tone on the upper mixed with the vaults in the mid panels as well as the toe box set these off. So the dark mochas, these ones, bro, I'm feeling these, man. I might need to get me some of these Jumpman Jacks at some point soon because I don't have any yet. We've had some updated looks of the Air Jordan 4 Fears. These sets come out on the 9th of November, and compared to the 2013 release, I feel like these are looking a lot better. They've got this new updated old school shape, which has them looking a little less boxy, a little less rotund, and slightly more commensurate with the OG shape. So I'm liking the look of these, man. The materials are looking good. The shape, like I said, is looking way better. Definitely a top tier Jordan 4 colorway and a shoe that I'm definitely going to be looking to replace. We have another Amélion d'Or New Balance to look forward to, this time the 990 V4. Not really much in the way of images to go off, and I want to say a slight departure from the normal kind of subtle tones that we're used to seeing from ALD. We've got like a bright orange colorway. These could, to be fair, be a regular general release New Balance. I'm sure the details and the materials will be of an elevated quality, but yeah, at least on first flush, I'm not overly impressed. We have another Salehe Banbury Crocs sneaker, the Juniper, this time in a tahini colorway. These look pretty cool. They look pretty muted, they look pretty basic, nothing overly spectacular about the colorway. And I don't know what happened to this shoe. It feels like it's been and gone already. The hype has seemingly evaporated from this. I'm not sure if it's because hardly anyone was able to cop the very first release because it was botted, but yeah, this pair has sort of gone under the radar. These other releases as well have sort of flown low as well, and yeah, I just don't know what's going on. This seems like it's been one of the biggest flops of the year. Rightio, let's finish off by talking about this week's biggest upcoming sneaker releases. August the 5th, you have the AE1 Low in the Mural colorway. August the 6th, I think this might be a Nike Sneakers app release for you guys over there in the US. These have already been and gone here in the UK. The Their Skateboards release. Also on the same day, you have a couple of pairs of the Air Max Sunders. Now, again, I'm not sure if these have already released for you guys over there in the US, but there's a couple of colorways, this Vault colorway and this pink colorway. Same day, you also have the Kobe 4 Protro Gold medals. August the 7th, the Air Max 180 Concords. August the 8th, Sneakers Day. I'm not sure, a bit like what I was talking about earlier, this could be a humongous flop or it could be a low-key hood classic, but the big shoe releasing on the day that we know about for sure is the Nigel Sylvester in the Driveway Gray. And then finally on August the 9th, the KD4 Nerfs. And that is it for this week's sneaker wrap. Thank you guys so much for taking the time to watch the video. Do me a favor and hit the like button before you bounce, and go on and have yourselves a lovely weekend. I'll see you guys on the next one. Take care for now.